and I remember seeing your track clip, and that was the first thing I remember seeing. Like, oh shoot, this dude is real deal. And then they said, no, he's even better at football.
Like the first year tight end like really was like a learning progress for me. My second year and last year was like my years where I finally understood it, and that's kind of when I excelled.
Can you walk us through that one-handed catch? Because I was right there on the side, that Ohio State catch.
I just went up with one hand. I didn't even mean to. I just did it, and the ball just stuck. And I was like, dang.
Quarterback sneak right side, touchdown, Penn State!
College football tees, college basketball tees, whatever you need, Mercury has you covered with the best merch out there. We're talking about high quality clothing, inexpensive, and the best part is I have a 15% discount for everybody who goes and gets some right now. Use the code below, hit the link in the description, and go get your merch now. Use the code to get 15% off. What are you waiting on? Go do it.
What's going on, folks? Back again, continuing our off-season series. But this week, Brandon and I are going to keep it light because we got some guests that I think you guys are going to be really excited about. We got Juwan Johnson coming on, and then possibly State Media is going to be dropping his first exclusive interview with Pat Freiermuth, former tight end and current Pittsburgh Steelers tight end. So we got a lot going on, B. So I want us to just kind of keep it high level, let these guys rip. I think this is what the people want to hear anyway. So, but with that, what's up, man?
Good, man. I'm excited for this one, as you said. Two great guys, very interesting stories that are, still balling out, which is fun. Love to see it on Sundays, always bigging up our guys. Juwan's a Jersey guy, South Jersey guy at that. So looking forward to speaking to these young men.
Yeah, I figured you'd be excited about getting another Jersey guy on here. Shoot. I guess I kind of halfway consider myself a Jersey guy now, which is weird.
Yeah, you got how many years now? At least you coming up on 10, I think.
6, 7, yeah, 6, 7, and my son's born here, so it's.
Yeah, Jersey kid. That's funny.
It's wild, but yeah. So like I said, we're doing the season review this week. It is tight ends and receiver group. Next week, we're going to go over to the defensive side again and hit the DBs. But I feel like this group, not necessarily tight ends, but the receivers. And I feel like it's kind of like two polar opposites. The tight ends got a ton of credit. The receivers got hammered. And realistically speaking, man, you and I have been on the same accord with this. There's talent in both of these rooms.
Yeah.
We went out and got Julian Fleming in the portal as well to help bolster that. But I'm very confident that with the guys we got in the room, we can get it done. I think it was just more of a meshing of the scheme. But what's your reflection on this, B? I'm curious to hear it from the defensive side.
Yeah, man, just from what I noticed, it seemed like that wide receiver room is hungry because they've, like you said, they've got hammered all year. They sit back, they listen, they hear it all, via social media, whatever it may be. So it's an opportunity to, shut critics up, which, as we know, can be the fuel for a young athlete, which, I'll take whatever it is that you have to do to kind of, get yourself going to be that guy that you want to be. I'm all for it because obviously, it was warranted. The numbers weren't there. And I'm sure no player kind of had the season that they wanted out of that room. And that's okay. Come back, you have another chance. We got Lambert Smith coming back, which I think is big time. A lot of people thought he may, move on to the next level. But, we got a lot of vets coming back, a lot of experience. So, like you said, it's about gelling, meshing it all together.
It's funny. We kind of talked on different levels about some of the previous groups, like it's starting with the offensive line on the offensive side of the ball, and then like the linebackers driving the development on the defensive side. Like, to me, this receiver room mentality is the embodiment of what this entire team's mentality needs to be when it comes to attacking this offseason. Some words you said: hungry, motivated, being able to kind of work in silence throughout spring ball and training camp and really show what they have. And to me, this team needs to do that top to bottom. You know what I mean? So I think bringing it full circle here and making comparisons, this receiver room has the ability to breathe the entire mental approach for what I think this entire team needs to bring to the table next year, which is really interesting because oftentimes, you talk about the receiver room, they're the biggest prima donnas, they're this, it's a unique opportunity for them to take a leadership role and lead by example in terms of how they approach their work. And realistically, it started today with their workouts. Well, I'm really excited to see what they bring out in the spring. But looking at it overall, in my eyes, you mentioned it, like the numbers weren't quite there. And again, I'm not in the meeting rooms every week, so it's hard for me to say, but it's just from my perception, it just seemed like we weren't putting them in positions to be successful consistently. We're asking them to do things that they struggled to do, which is really the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So I'm excited for Andy Koltenicky and what he brings, and possibly being able to find some of these guys, like you said, a deep room, an experienced room. Keandre Lambert-Smith coming back is a big thing. And then, like I said, some of the guys in the portal and the additions, they got a chance this year, man. And, I don't want to beat a dead drum with what happened last year, but to your point, I think they can use it as fuel to the fire here.
Yeah, for sure. And young QB coming back at the helm, as we said, building that confidence between, that room and the QB room will be big. And I associate it with, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, with the Packers and Jordan Love, a young QB, young receiver group, kind of all coming along together, where you see that confidence that they exude on the field. So I'm expecting, just to see that as far as the confidence side this season.
Yeah. Who's your sleeper in that room? In both of these rooms? Well, let's say these rooms include the tight ends, but who's your sleeper? And then we'll touch on the tight end performance after this.
Okay. My sleeper, man, is I'm gonna say it's been the guy I've been, keeping tabs on the last few seasons, Amari Evans, man. This kid's a speedster out of Texas. We've seen him make some big plays. I think Drew's first long touchdown 2 seasons ago was to him, and kind of, clean up time of a game. But you see it on the field. You saw it against Michigan State, took a few shots at him, but more to what you said is getting guys like that in ample opportunities, not just a deep ball, a game or whatever it may be. Really let them develop as a receiver. So that's the one kid I'm looking for. But there's, as we said, the room is deep.
Yeah. I keep going back to this name, but I just think it's I think just his body type and I talked about it at the beginning of the year, but Malik McClain, man, a senior, hungry.
Sticks.
There's ways to use a body like that within an offense, and I think that him coming back, you looked at Dante Cephas. Dante Cephas hit the portal again, but him coming back, I think that shows where his mindset is in terms of his approach and what he thinks he can do here. And we'll obviously see how that plays out during spring. For me, it's a big one. And then I'm going to jump my tight end one in here, and I think it's Andrew Rapplier. He's a kid from New York. Got a little inside baseball on this, but I'm really excited about this kid. I think he can be a breakout guy in that room, alongside some of the standing guys who've made plays throughout the past couple seasons, and then obviously Tyler Warren coming back. Like, I think that's huge.
I'll go with Dinkins, man. I'm not sure if it's a sleeper. We've seen him, out there catching a few passes, a few touchdowns out of their big personnel, whatever you want to call it, the wing T formation with all 3-4 tight ends. But I think that he's ready to take a leap this year as well. Kind of being that Batman Robin too. Excuse me. Yeah. Sorry.
I got you, bro. It's a long day.
Long day.
With that, I think the tight ends last year, obviously, scored a lot of touchdowns, were a big part of the offense. I expect them to continue to be a big part of the offense. 15 class.
Yeah.
But
good memory. Pretty good memory.
Yeah. I've been hitting the head a lot too, so that's crazy. But Juwan has a great and unique story, I think, for this episode, as he came in as a receiver.
Yeah.
Jersey kid. Graduated from Penn State, ended up grad transferring to Oregon, played a year there, and then has found his way into a tight end role in the league, which is a good little crossover here, an introduction into, again, this episode. So, Juwan, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all having me, dogs. Miss y'all boys.
I know.
So we got our guy Juwan here. Juwan, what's been up, dude? You're living in New Orleans.
Yeah.
You're a new dad.
Yeah.
South Jersey guy.
South Jersey.
Though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Glassboro, right?
Glassboro. Hey, you got some good memory, bro.
Yeah, well, I was coaching at Winslow
guy now
for the past few years. So
yeah,
coaching, he knows the landscape and everything.
No doubt.
But dude, what's been up? Give us a life update, and then we're gonna dive into a few other things. But just how you been?
Yeah, life's been good, man. I just got done my 4th season, so a lot has gone into that. Really blessed for that, man, because it's tough. It's definitely tough, especially trying to be consistent and doing all that. But yeah, blessed to see my 4th year. Going into my 5th year, obviously enjoying the offseason right now with the little one. Finally get to spend some time with her as she's sleeping right now next to me. Wifey's great. Everything's pretty good, man. It's nothing I can really complain about. Just really trying to hit this offseason really hard because, I really have big plans ahead. And, I'm just trying to work as hard as I can to get them. So, really excited, man. I can't complain about much.
Amen.
So, like I said, you came into Penn State as a receiver.
Yeah.
We're obviously doing our whole thing. Talk to me a little bit about your transition because, again, you were a young pup when I was there.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of you and Irv.
Yeah.
Pretty big time recruit, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
4-star, 5-star.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know you were killing in track. I remember this is one of the first things I remember in the recruiting cycle.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Pat joining us.
Yeah, there he is. There you go.
Too good.
What's going on, brother? But yeah, I remember, Juwan, your recruiting cycle, whatever was going on, and I remember seeing your track clip.
Yeah.
Was it the 400 relay?
Mm-hmm.
And you hawked the kid, and that was the first thing I remember seeing. Like, oh shoot, this dude is a real deal. And then they said, no, he's even better at football. I was like, oh shoot, the hack point. And mind you, I'm on defense. I'm not throwing you the ball.
Right.
I was hyped.
Yeah.
I was a South Jersey guy, so
definitely. Because I definitely felt like, I was like, dang, I wish I would have played with Hack. I'm not saying that just Hack because you're here, but that's one of the things I wish I would have done because I didn't get a chance to play with Gino. I didn't get a chance to play with, I got a chance with the rest of the guys, but, Gino was one of the guys I really wanted to play with because he was an exciting dude. So, it would have been fun, man. And I definitely wanted to, have that experience, but, it all worked out at the end, but that's one of the regrets that I wish I had going in was more focused so I could, play with those guys and play with you.
Well, dude, all full transparency here. Like, I fought for you and Irv.
Yeah.
Ricky. Like, Ricky on a weekly basis. I was like, we got to get these guys on the field. Like, I don't give a shit if they're a little inconsistent.
Right.
I don't care. Like,
right.
Big body. Let's get these guys out here and let's just get reps under the belt.
No doubt.
Are you paying too much for health insurance? Too busy to read long, complicated policies? Well, guess what? Here at The Pocket, we got a solution for you. Mahdi Health. Patrick Mahdi, former Letterman. He's doing a fantastic job in this industry. He leverages years of expertise to build a customized health insurance policy for you and your needs. Individual plans, family plans. Patrick ensures you get the best protection for your health and budget. Mahdi Health, one broker, endless solutions. Now offering up to $500 cash bonus for every customer referral. So quit overpaying for your health insurance. Visit MahdiHealth.com to schedule a free consultation with Patrick himself. But I want you to just talk about like that whole experience.
Yeah.
Then you got transferred to Oregon, still playing receiver, and then you get a chance to league. But I think like the coolest part about your story is the transition from receiver to tight end. There's obviously parts of that are that coincide in terms of like catching the ball, route running, all that stuff. But then there's a whole new element of having to play online and in line.
Definitely.
And start moving bodies and being versatile from that standpoint. And that takes a different approach mentally.
Yeah.
And, our guy Mike's one of those guys who completely sells out on one side of that line than the other. And we busted his balls about that.
Right.
Just talk about that because I think that's really cool. It's a tough thing to do, especially at the level that you did.
Yeah. Just like real quick, I mean, like even my freshman year when you guys were there, I mean, I was at like 235 at one point. And so they were already talking about moving me then. And I was like, look, I ain't playing tight end. Ain't no way you're going to get me to play tight end. Ain't no way. But, as time progressed, I got a little better at receiver. And then, coming into Oregon, I was teeter around 232. So talk kept creeping around then, getting, in the draft process, guys saying like, look, we might put you at, tight end when you come. And at that point, I'm like, all right, now I'm for it. Because it's like, I'm just trying to get utilized in whatever way I can. And so, going into my first year at with the Saints, and I'm over here at 238. Like New Orleans is I'm eating good. I'm eating good over there. Like I'm eating crawfish. I'm eating pretty much everything. And then they're just like, look, bro, if you gain like 1 more pound, we got to move you. And so I just started eating everything. So I started eating. I was like, man, I'm just trying to play because at this point I'm like on practice squad. I'm just trying to find my way in. And so the next season, they tell me that I'm moving to tight end, and from there I just hit the ground running. And obviously it was tough at first because I don't know anything. Like I don't know fronts. I don't know run schemes. I don't know jab scheme. I don't know counter scheme, power. I don't know any of that. Like I don't even know what a combo block is. Like I've never performed any of that stuff. But all I know is MDM or UK or you getting forced. I'm like, all right, cool. Like that's all I got. Like 2 responsibilities. But like now, like you have to read everything. Like you have to read technique. Like I didn't even know what a 5 technique was. I didn't even know what a 9 technique was. But those are things just like, bro, like this is messing up my mind. So like the first year of tight end like really was like a learning progress for me. Because even at the end of the year, I still didn't know what techniques were. He was like, yeah, get the 9 tech. I was like, I don't know what that is. And I'm out there just playing free. But my second year and last year was like my years where I finally understood it. And that's kind of when I excelled because I knew what I was doing. So long journey, but, here we are all from eating a lot of food. So
in one of the best cities to do that in.
Yeah.
No doubt. I ain't gonna lie. It's not a lot of Chipotle's around here, I'll tell you that. Not a lot of Chipotle's. Not a lot, man.
That's great. Now let's go, you probably didn't watch a ton of it. Brandon's going to talk a little bit about transferring and then Oregon, but I'm going to hit home here at Penn State.
Yeah.
What have you seen? And I don't know if you were in tune enough, but the receiver room kind of hammered this year in terms of their production, some stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof. But, I've been a big proponent of it's not been a talent thing. I think it's just putting the pieces to the puzzle in the best positions to be successful.
Definitely.
That's something that we all always kind of battle with as players and coordinators and dealing with things like that. But talk a little bit about what you saw. Talk a little bit about what you think can happen. And then obviously with the new offensive coordinator coming in, what to look forward to.
Yeah. I mean, this whole season has been kind of an up and down thing. And, honestly, it's just like it's a new of everything. There's a new quarterback. You got new receivers. A couple of receivers left, the previous year. So you just got a whole bunch of new guys, and they're just trying to figure it out. And camp just isn't enough. And you learn that in NFL. And I think the thing about it is different in college is that you don't get losses to really learn it. Like you have to learn it through wins and things like that. So a lot of the times it's kind of hard to, see where you need to progress at because you don't have preseason games like the NFL. You don't have all you have is scrimmages, and you're going against like good on good, but it's not the same. So I think with another year with the guys that they have, you're losing a tight end group, which is a defeat in some sort, but in some way you got guys who can step up, and that's not a big problem. You have the guys that receivers that are coming back, so that's big. You got the quarterback coming back. You got your running backs back, so that's already big as is. So I think it's really important that guys just really dial into what they have, just really stay to their focus on. I mean, it sounds cliche, but the details, because the thing is, it's just like you just can't go into another season, have all this expectation, and then you kind of flush it down the drain because, oh yeah, well this is what we have. We got our guys back, and we got to go get it. But the thing is, you got new people in the conference now. You got USC, you got Oregon in the conference. You got so many different people in the conference where you get a lot more with the playoffs and stuff like that. You get to have a loss, but the thing is like you can't have too many losses. In NFL, it's just like you can have 3 or 4 losses, still go to the Super Bowl and win it, or 5 losses. And in college football, you literally get one nowadays, one or maybe two now to figure it out. So they'll be fine. I mean, I think it's just being intentional with their work, and they'll be just fine.
Yeah, man. I think this year we all witnessed Penn State fans were more on edge than I think I have ever seen.
Really?
With everything going on. College football, you got NIL, you got transfer portal, which
Right.
I want to get to you about. I mean, you were before the real transfer portal opened up,
Yeah,
but
no
still
doubt.
a player that, like you said, graduated from Penn State. We see you as a Penn Stater. But similar to Geno Lewis, you're kind of more in the success story of grad transferring to another top tier program.
Yeah.
And as you just, spoke on, you excelled your career during that time. Can you just talk us through that year, that process,
Yeah.
where your mind was mentally? Because I know it's a lot on these kids, and
Yeah.
no one really thinks of it like that.
Yeah. Mentally, when I made the decision, I think the year prior, I didn't really have a good year. I think I was defeated by injuries and just, production. I was just like, man, I was really down in the dumps. And honestly, at some points, I thought about not even playing anymore. That's how mentally messed up I was.
Yeah.
So, I think it came to a lot of prayer and some sort. It came to talking to my parents and talking to my friends about just advice. And so, I was just like, man, maybe transfer could be a move just to change the scenery. It didn't have to be the only decision, but I feel like in that decision right then and there, I think transfer was probably the best bet for me. It's not because, I couldn't play. I had guys around me. We were going to have a good team. We had Pat, he's in here. We're going to have Pat. We're going to have KJ, Jahan, Sean Clifford. We had a great team around us. I just felt like for me in that particular moment, in that particular weeks leading up to it, I just had to go mentally. And so it was tough. I had to, to talk with, Franklin. It didn't go easy. Him and Deej, Other Deej. I didn't think it was a great, conversation, but I felt like at the end of it, we all have respect for each other. And I think that was the biggest thing for me. Just the respect level of all parties. No bad blood was given. Everybody was very understanding. And that's the thing that I know I had peace about, because the understanding about it all, that's where I gained the most peace. And so, and I just went with the first team who hit me up. Honestly, it wasn't too much to think about it. Oregon was the first team to hit me up. I was like, all right, cool. That's where we go.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it, man. I didn't try to make anything complicated. I really didn't make any of my recruiting processes hard. Penn State was one of the most loyal people I was with, so that's who I stuck with. And Oregon was the first team to hit me up, so that's who I went with. And that's how I went.
Yeah, it's not that's two not bad programs to attend.
Right.
I would say that. I just want to touch on quickly the conversation we had with Franklin and Big Deej at the time.
Yeah.
That's everything you say. It didn't go great, but there was no bad blood, no bridges burned. Because as I'm learning, dealing with kids nowadays, the younger athletes in the NIL space, that sense of respect is kind of lost.
Right.
Honestly, that sets you up as being a man more than I think you even thought at the time. Just having a conversation face to face with another man or men, and not agreeing on what the conversation was, but leaving the room with respect still. And I think that's a testament to you, Coach Franklin, Big D, as we know, are all stand up men. So
definitely, and I dreaded that conversation the whole time. I dreaded that thing. I was like, man, I really don't want to talk to them. I really don't have the conversation, but it was much needed, and I think it didn't go as planned, but it was definitely good from all parties that we all had the conversation.
For sure. Like I said, see you as a Penn State, man.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, I know you got a crying baby, so I know what that's like.
Right. No doubt.
So, quickly to kind of put a button on this, man. Like B said, we see you as a Penn Stater. You're a brother of ours, and we try to make this podcast a platform for us lettermen to get together, tell our stories, talk about it, connect with the fans, connect with the current players. So, give us some of your best Penn State memories, what it means to be a Penn State football player to you, obviously unique experience, and some closing remarks, brother. And we appreciate your time.
Yeah. I have two. I feel like one of them, my first one was the Rose Bowl. Viva, you know about it. But yeah, man, I think that was probably one of the best years we've had since a lot of people have been Penn State fans. Just the team that we had, the closest that we had, it was fun. Nobody had any bad blood. Nobody had any animosity because people were playing. It's just like everybody was playing, everybody was having a good time. And even though there was a loss at the end of the year, it still felt like a success. No matter if it was a loss or not. Many people felt like we should have been in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, like that was a fun year just in general. It was just fun. And it was remarkable. I felt like it was just like the perfect time to be. You just had to be there. It's kind of like one of those things, like you just had to be there, like one of those things. So that year, and then the year after, 2017, was probably one of my favorite years because we just had so many guys coming back. It was a fun time. It was a Fiesta Bowl year, and that's when we beat up on Washington. And I feel like that whole year, again, we felt like we should have been in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, like those 2 years, I felt like a lot of guys just had fun. Like that was like not too many times where people just go to college and they have fun, enjoy going to practice, enjoy staying after practice, catching balls or just trying to get extra work. You don't see that too many times, especially, when players are in college now. You don't see guys just chilling with guys, hanging out with guys. And I felt like we were just one back then. So it was just really fun to be a part of those times. And yeah, those are my closing remarks. I just felt like, Penn State was a great time. I don't regret not a single, iota from, being there. It was just such a great time, meeting people, still talking to you guys. Hack, I met you when I was a freshman, and, you just reaching out was great. And B-Bo, a guy being from Jersey, it's a blessing to see y'all doing y'all thing. It's been great, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, we'll stay in touch. If you're ever up in Jersey, let me know. I'm here now too because my wife's in Jersey. So, let me know.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Before we go, I just got to get your mind. Can you walk us through that one-handed catch? Because I was right there on the side, that Ohio State catch. That was the 2017 year, right?
That was 2018.
That was 2018. Okay.
Yeah.
I was right there on the sideline. That was one of the meanest catches. I think you and Jahan went crazy.
Yeah.
Or no, Jahan was the year after.
That was the year after. Yeah. So.
Oh, you and
Yeah.
KJ went crazy.
Yep. Yeah. So that was pretty wild. Honestly, you never know what you're gonna get from Trace in terms of like, is he gonna throw this goal ball or he's just gonna let me run this guy off? And something just told me like, you just gotta run this thing. So I ran it, and man, like honestly, like it's one of those things where I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I did it anyway because it was pretty ignorant of me. And so I just went up with one hand. I didn't even mean to. I just did it, and the ball just stuck. And I was like, dang. And then later that game, Pat had one, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but man, we over here catching this ball like it got some freaking it's some freaking Bill Belichick, like Bill Belichick done flatten the ball or something. But yeah, we and sadly we lost that game too. But man, I know they were on us about that. But yeah, that was a game. That was fun. That was a fun game.
I had to get that. That was a great game.
That was a fun game. That was a fun game. Appreciate y'all boys, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate
you.
Absolutely.
We'll chop it up.
Y'all be easy.
So that was our guy, Juwan Johnson. Nittany Lion, Duck. We view him as a brother. He's a saint.
Yeah.
He's a Swiss Army knife of sorts.
Really is.
Great guy, great family man, great representative of the program. So we are very happy to let him come on, tell his story, and give us a little bit of a life update.
Yeah. Always good talking to the brethrens that we have. Once again, we open this platform up to all lettermen. We'll continue to do as such, and just looking forward to it, man. And thank you again, Juwan. Look out for him with the Saints. Him and his wife are all over TikTok, blasting out content. So check in all of that. And he has a great mustache.
It's a fantastic mustache. I'm actually, I have envy. I might have to
go back to just the stash.
Yeah, I might have to do it now. But and I thought he did a great job putting a cap on it. I think his story resonates with what we talked about in the intro. This receiving room, tight end room kind of has to continue the standard. I think the receiving room has a great opportunity to work in silence and raise the standard to meet the expectations that everyone has. And they got the guys to do it. So with that, that's another episode of The Pocket. We greatly appreciate all the support. looking forward to more feedback. Hit us on our mentions at whatever you guys got. What do you want to hear? What do you want to see? We're building this together. Follow us on all of our socials, State Media PSU, different handles on X and Instagram. And then make sure you follow the mothership Mercury for all of our content surrounding really the entire space. We got a basketball pod spun up now with Miles Dredd. So I got a lot of good stuff coming for you guys. So appreciate the feedback, appreciate the support. And we will see you guys next week.